Hey everyone, welcome back. So you've been digging into all this stuff about advanced energy solutions, huh? Well, we're right there with you. We've got a whole pile of reports and articles, and there's this one from the World Economic Forum. It's really interesting. It kind of lays out the whole landscape of what's happening in energy right now.
Yeah, what's really striking to me? It's that we're not just talking about like little by little changes anymore. This is like a total transformation of how we power the world.
Right. It really feels like a pivotal moment. So where do we even begin? I guess the big questions are like, what's driving all this investment in advanced energy? What are the roadblocks, the
Oh.
challenges we need to overcome? And I think most importantly, what does it all mean, like for you listening right now?
Yeah, that's the key, right?
Hmm.
We can throw around these terms, advanced energy and all that, but we need to make it real. Connect it back to everyday life. How is this going to change things? How we live, how we work, even just how we relax and have fun in the years to come. For sure. And there's this one number from the report that just completely blew me away. Okay, get this. By 2030, we could be seeing over $500 billion invested in advanced energy solutions every single year.
Whoa. I mean, that's not just some statistic. That's like a beacon, a signal. It's showing that the whole world is taking this seriously. Governments, businesses, investors, everyone, they're recognizing that the future of energy is here now, and they want to get a piece of it.
It's not just about throwing money at the problem, though, right? The report gets into the specifics. It compares like the 2024 investment levels
Okay.
for batteries, hydrogen, sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF to what it was in previous years, and the growth is just phenomenal.
It really is remarkable, especially when you think about how expensive it is to borrow money now,
Mhm.
the cost of financing, and all the uncertainty going on in the world geopolitically. Yet the momentum just keeps building. It seems like nothing can stop it, this push for advanced energy.
Okay, let's unpack this a little bit. You mentioned SAF, and some people might be thinking, wait, what is SAF? Well, think of it like jet fuel, but it's made from
Yeah.
things like used cooking oil and leftover stuff from agriculture.
Yeah, exactly. It's like turning garbage into gold.
Yeah.
And it dramatically cuts down on the emissions from flying. But what's really cool is the report talks about this facility in South Dakota that's going to be making SAF. They're projecting that for every dollar
Hmm.
spent on producing SAF with the help of some federal incentives, it'll generate $4 to $6
Yeah.
in broader benefits.
Wow, that's incredible. So it's not just about doing good for the environment then, it's also creating economic value too, right?
Yeah, exactly. It really shows that investing in advanced energy, it's not some kind of charity. It's not just the right thing to do. It just makes economic sense. And the report doesn't stop there. It goes into another fascinating technology, small modular reactors, SMRs.
SMRs. Okay, now those sound intriguing. Tell me more.
Basically, imagine mini nuclear power plants
Mm.
that you can put almost anywhere, even really remote areas or places that aren't connected to the grid. They give you this steady, reliable, carbon-free energy. It could be a real game changer.
So it's not all about wind and solar then. Nuclear's back in the picture, but it's different this time. More adaptable, I guess you could say.
Exactly. And there's a great example in the report about an SMR project in Tennessee. It's predicted to have a huge positive impact on the local economy there. It'll create lots of jobs while they're building it, and then even more once it's running, and it's going to boost the overall GDP of the whole region.
That's amazing to see how these advanced energy solutions are becoming so multifaceted. It's not just about reducing emissions, it's also about job creation,
Right.
economic growth,
Mm.
even bringing new life to communities.
You got it. That's a really important point. The report highlights this shift, this move,
Mm.
away from purely environmental goals to something more holistic, more integrated. Countries are now prioritizing job creation, economic growth, and energy security, alongside cutting emissions, all at the same time. It's about making the future stronger, more resilient, not just greener, but better in every way.
And here's where things get really interesting. The report actually suggests that all this new green strategic competition, as they call it, could completely reshape the balance of power in the world.
Yeah, it's a fascinating idea. Countries are starting to realize that being a leader in clean energy isn't just about saving the planet anymore. It's about economic power. It's about global influence. It's like the space race, but for clean energy.
That's a great analogy. So we've got this booming market, all these countries trying to outdo each other,
Mm.
and these incredible new technologies emerging all the time. But it can't all be smooth sailing, right? The
Mm.
report does acknowledge that these advanced energy projects, they can have some pretty hefty upfront costs.
You're absolutely right. Those initial costs can be a major obstacle, even when everyone can see the long-term benefits.
Hmm.
And the report actually uses an example to illustrate this, almost a cautionary tale.
They talk about this SMR project in Idaho that had all these really promising projections,
Hmm.
showing all the economic benefits it would bring, but it ended up being abandoned because they just couldn't get enough investors
Mm,
and they didn't have enough public support either.
yeah. It's a reminder that just having the technology isn't enough. We need the right policies in place
Mm.
and the right partnerships, too,
Hmm.
to really unlock the potential of these advanced energy solutions.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about those policies. The report goes into how governments are using things like incentives and mandates to try and attract investment and get people to adopt these technologies. It seems like a delicate balancing act.
Oh, it definitely is. You've got these incentives like tax breaks and subsidies
Mm.
and things like low-interest financing that can make these technologies much more attractive to investors, especially at the beginning when the risks seem high. But we also need mandates that are well-designed, things that set clear goals and timelines for making the switch to clean energy.
Yeah, it's like giving a little nudge or sometimes a big shove
Yeah.
to get things moving in the right direction. And the report actually points to China and India as examples of countries that are really making progress with these kinds of policies.
Yes, China has been incredibly effective. They've used their industrial and energy policies to create a huge demand within China
Yeah.
for all these advanced energy technologies. They've also put a lot of resources into building up their manufacturing capacity.
And India is coming up strong too, right? They've got incentives in place to encourage domestic manufacturing and mandates to make sure that clean energy is deployed. It seems like it's really helping them gain a foothold in areas like clean energy storage and hydrogen.
They definitely have. They've seen how important it is strategically to be a leader in this energy transition. It's not just about reducing their own emissions anymore.
Yeah.
It's about becoming a global leader in these industries of the future.
It really is fascinating to see how this is all playing out on the world stage, this green strategic competition. It's almost like a new kind of arms race. But instead of building weapons, they're competing to build the cleanest, most efficient, most cutting-edge energy systems.
And the stakes couldn't be higher. The countries that win this race, they won't just be reducing their carbon footprint, they'll be shaping the global economy. They'll be leading the way in new technologies
Mhm.
and securing their place as leaders in the 21st century.
It's not just about protecting the environment anymore. It's about economic influence, technological dominance, even national security, it seems.
Exactly. And that's why partnerships are so vital. No single country, no company, no organization can do this alone. We need collaboration on a global scale to share what we know, to pool our resources, and speed up the development and deployment of these solutions.
Yeah, the report really stresses how important collaboration is. They actually call for the creation of these platforms, places where governments, industries, and innovators can come together and form partnerships. It's like they're saying, look, we need to stop working in isolation and start working together to solve this
It's
challenge.
about breaking down those walls,
Mm.
having open conversations,
Yeah.
and creating a space where innovation can thrive.
So we've got this booming market, this fierce global competition, and this essential need for collaboration. But let's bring it back down to earth for a minute, back to the individual. Where do you, the listener, fit into all of this? How are these advanced energy solutions going to touch your life?
That's the question we all need to be asking ourselves. And honestly, the answer is, in so many ways, big and small. I mean, think about how we get around. Electric vehicles are already becoming more common, and as battery technology keeps getting better and charging infrastructure keeps expanding, they're just going to get more affordable and easier to find.
Right. And imagine a world where those electric vehicles are being charged up with clean energy, energy that's generated from solar panels on your roof, or maybe wind turbines right there in your community. That's not just some futuristic fantasy. It's actually happening already in a lot of places.
Exactly. And it goes beyond transportation, too. Think about your home. Advanced energy solutions are going to play a huge role in making our homes more energy efficient and sustainable. You'll have smart thermostats and appliances, rooftop solar, home energy storage systems. We're going to have so much more control over our energy use and how much it costs than we've ever had before.
It's like our homes are going to be working with us, helping us save energy and money. And we can't forget about all the new jobs that will be created as this whole industry keeps growing.
You're right. This transition to advanced energy solutions is going to create millions and millions of jobs all over the world in manufacturing, installation, maintenance, research, and development. And these aren't just any jobs. These are well-paying, highly skilled jobs that give you the chance to be part of something truly transformative.
It's not just about the technology itself. It's about the impact it has on the whole economy and society. It's about creating a more sustainable future, yes, but also a more prosperous one, a more equitable one.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this whole topic so exciting. It's not just about solving a problem. It's about building a better future for everyone. A future with clean, affordable energy for all, where we've created a thriving green economy, and where we're making real progress in tackling the climate crisis.
I love that. It's like a choose your own adventure book, but for the future of energy. We have all these different paths we can take. And the decisions we make today, right now, are going to determine what that future looks like.
The report actually leaves us with a very thought-provoking question. Which countries do you think will emerge as the leaders in this new energy landscape? Will it be the countries that are already powerful, or will we see some new players rise to the challenge?
That's a great question, and it really underlines the fact that this isn't something where we just sit back and watch. We're all participants in this story, whether we realize it or not. Every choice we make, every investment we support, every policy we advocate for, it all makes a difference.
That's so true. And that's what I really hope listeners take away from this deep dive, a sense of agency, a realization that they have a role to play
Yeah,
in shaping the future of energy.
absolutely. Well, there you have it, folks. A journey through the world of advanced energy solutions. We covered a lot of ground, from this booming market and the global competition that's heating up to how it's all going to affect our lives and the choices that we're facing. It's complex, but it's also full of opportunity and hope.
Yeah, and we really encourage you to keep exploring this topic, to ask questions, to challenge the assumptions you might have, and to get involved. Because the future of energy is in our hands.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. Until next time, keep those brain gears turning. They talk about this SMR project in Idaho, and it had all these, promising projections showing all the economic benefits it was supposed to bring, but in the end, it got abandoned because they just couldn't get enough investors on board, and there wasn't enough public support for it either.
Yeah, it's a tough lesson. It shows that just having the technology isn't enough.
Yeah.
Right? We need the right policies to support it, and we need people to work together, the right partnerships, if we really want to unlock the potential of these advanced energy solutions.
Makes sense. So let's talk about those policies for a minute. The report dives into how governments are using different kinds of incentives and mandates to try and attract investment and encourage people to actually use these new technologies. It seems like a tricky thing to get right, a real balancing act.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely a delicate balance. You've got these incentives like tax credits and subsidies and things like low-interest financing that can make these technologies a lot more appealing to investors, especially in the early stages, when there's more risk involved. But we also need smart mandates, things that lay out clear targets and timelines for this whole transition to clean energy.
Yeah, it's like giving a little nudge, a little push, or just like maybe a big shove to get things moving in the right direction. The report highlights China and India, actually, as examples of countries that are really making headway with these kinds of policies.
That's right. China has been incredibly effective, I have to say, at leveraging their industrial and energy policies to create a huge amount of domestic demand for these advanced energy technologies. And they've also invested heavily in building up their manufacturing capacity, so they can actually produce all this stuff.
And India is emerging as a major player too, isn't it? They've got these incentives for domestic manufacturing, and they've got mandates for deploying clean energy. And it seems like it's really helping them get a foothold in areas like clean energy storage and hydrogen.
Oh, absolutely. They've definitely recognized the strategic importance of being at the forefront of this whole energy transition. It's not just about cutting their own emissions anymore. It's about becoming a global leader in these industries of the future.
It's amazing to see how this whole green strategic competition is playing out on the world stage. It's almost like it's like a new kind of arms race, but instead of building weapons, they're all competing to build the cleanest, most efficient, most innovative energy system.
The stakes are high, that's for sure. The countries that come out on top in this race, they won't just be the ones with the smallest carbon footprint, they'll be the ones shaping the global economy, driving technological advancements, and cementing their positions as leaders in the 21st century.
So it's not just about saving the planet anymore. It's about economic power, technological dominance, maybe even national stability when you think about it.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why partnerships are so crucial. No single country can do this alone. No company, no organization can tackle this by themselves. We need to be working together on a global scale,
Yes.
sharing our knowledge, pooling our resources to really accelerate the development and deployment
Yeah.
of these advanced energy solutions.
The report really hammers home how important collaboration is. They actually call for creating these platforms, places where governments and industries and innovators can all come together and forge partnerships. It's like they're saying, hey, we got to stop working in silos and start working together if we want to solve this.
Exactly. It's about breaking down those barriers, having open and honest
Yeah.
conversations, and building an environment, an ecosystem where innovation can truly flourish.
Okay, so we've got this booming market, this intense global competition, and this essential need for collaboration. But let's bring it back down to earth for a second, Brawl. Back to you, the listener. Where do you fit into all of this? How are these advanced energy solutions going to impact your life, your everyday life?
That's a great question, and it's the one we all need to be asking. And the answer, honestly, is in countless ways, big ways and small ways. I mean, think about just getting around transportation.
Right.
Electric vehicles, they're already becoming more and more common. And as battery technology keeps improving and we get more charging stations everywhere, they're only going to become more affordable and accessible.
Right. And just imagine, what if those electric vehicles were all being charged up with clean energy, high energy coming from solar panels on your roof, or wind turbines right there in your community? That's not some sci-fi fantasy anymore. That's already starting to happen in lots of places.
It is. It is. And it goes way beyond transportation, too. Think about your house, your home. Advanced energy solutions are going to be huge in making our homes more energy efficient and sustainable. Think smart thermostats, smart appliances, rooftop solar, home energy storage systems, all that. We're going to have way more control over how we use energy and how much it costs us than we ever had before.
It's almost like our homes will be working with us, helping us save energy and save money. And then there are all the jobs, right? All the new jobs that are going to be created as this whole industry keeps expanding.
Absolutely. That's a huge part of it. The transition to advanced energy solutions is going to create millions of jobs all over the world in manufacturing, installation, maintenance, research and development, all sorts of areas. And these aren't just any jobs either. These are good paying jobs, highly skilled jobs that offer people the chance to be part of something, something truly transformative.
Yeah, I love that. It's not just about the technology itself. It's about the ripple effect it has, the impact it has on the whole economy, on society as a whole. It's about creating a future that's not just more sustainable, but also more prosperous, more equitable for everyone.
You hit the nail on the head. And honestly, that's what makes this whole topic so incredibly exciting to me. It's not just about fixing a problem. It's about creating a better future, a future where everyone has access to clean, affordable energy, where we've built a thriving green economy, and where we're making serious progress in addressing this climate crisis.
It's inspiring, isn't it? It's almost like one of those choose your own adventure books, but it's for the future of energy. There are all these different paths we can choose, and the decisions we make today, right now, are going to determine what that future ends up looking like.
The report actually ends with a really thought-provoking question. It asks, which countries do you think will emerge as the leaders in this new energy landscape? So will it be the big players, the ones who are already powerful, or will we see some new contenders rise to the top?
That's a great question to think about. And it really highlights the fact that we're not just spectators in all this. We're all participants in this story, whether we realize it or not. The choices we make, the things we support, the policies we advocate for, they all contribute to shaping the future.
They absolutely do. And if there's one thing I hope listeners take away from this deep dive, it's a sense of agency, the realization that they have a role to play in shaping the future of energy.
I couldn't agree more. Well, folks, there you have it. Our deep dive into the world of advanced energy solutions. We covered a lot of ground, didn't we? We talked about the booming market, the global competition heating up, how it's all going to impact our lives, and the choices that we're all facing. It's a complex landscape, but it's also full of opportunity and hope.
It is. It is. And we really encourage you. Keep exploring this topic. Keep asking questions. Don't be afraid to challenge the assumptions you might have.
No.
And get involved. Because the future of energy, well, it's in our hands.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. Until next time, keep those brain gears turning.
It really is. And it's not just about how we get from A to B either. Think about your home, Advanced energy is going to be a game changer for how we make our homes more energy efficient and sustainable.
Yeah.
We're talking smart thermostats, smarter appliances, solar panels on your roof, home energy storage systems, the whole shebang, we'll have more control over how we use energy at home and how much it costs us than ever before.
It's like our homes will be working with us to help us save energy, help us save money. And let's not forget about the jobs, right? All those new jobs that'll be created as this whole industry just keeps growing and growing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's a huge piece of the puzzle. This shift to advanced energy solutions is going to create millions of jobs all over the world. We're talking manufacturing, installation, maintenance, research and development, you name it.
Wow.
And these aren't just any jobs, you know. They're good-paying jobs. They're highly skilled jobs, jobs that give people a chance to be part of something really, truly transformative.
It's not just about the technology itself, is it? It's about that ripple effect it creates, the impact it has on the entire economy, on our society.
Wow.
It's about building a future that's not only more sustainable,
Yeah.
but also more prosperous, more equitable for everyone.
Exactly. That's it. You nailed it. And that's what makes this whole topic so darn exciting to me. It's not just about putting a Band-Aid on a problem.
Yeah.
It's about building a better future, a genuinely better future,
Mm-hmm.
a future where everyone, everywhere, has access to clean, affordable energy, where we've built a thriving green economy, and where we're making serious headway in tackling this climate crisis we're facing.
I love that. It's like we're writing our own choose your own adventure story, but for the future of energy, right? We have all these different paths we can take.
Yeah.
And the choices we make today, they determine what that future is actually going to look like.
You know, the report ends on a really interesting note. It asks this question: which countries do you think will emerge as the leaders
Yeah.
in this new energy landscape?
Interesting.
Will it be the usual suspects, the ones who are already in power? Or will we see some new players step up and take the lead?
That's a great question. And it really drives home the point that this isn't something we're just watching from the sidelines. We're all part of this story, whether we realize it or not.
That's right.
The choices we make, the things we choose to support, the policies we push for, it all adds up. It all makes a difference.
Couldn't agree more. And if there's one thing I hope listeners take away from our deep dive today, it's that sense of agency, you know, that feeling of, hey, I have a role to play in this. I can actually make a difference.
I love that. Well, folks, that's a wrap. Our deep dive into the world of advanced energy solutions. We covered a lot of ground today. We talked about this incredible market that's booming, the global competition that's really heating up, how it's all going to affect our lives, each and every one of us, and the choices that we're all facing. It's a complex landscape, for sure, but it's also full of opportunity and, I think, a lot of hope.
Yeah, lots of hope. And we really encourage you to keep digging into this, keep asking questions, keep challenging the assumptions you might have, and get involved, get engaged, because the future of energy, well, it really is in our hands.
So well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. Until next time, keep those brain gears turning.